lightning and thunder. It says we are live, and there's lightning striking hard. Hey, so I'm going to talk about what our word means. So you all know people, and this is a funny, right? You all know people that if they say to you, yeah, I'll be there. Oh, sure, I'll do that. You don't have any idea whether or not it'll happen, right? And here's the funny thing. I'm a coach, and as a coach, I pay a lot of attention to my own words, like every single word that comes out of my mouth, because I have chosen to be bound by my word, to do exactly what I say and to speak only what I mean. But I've noticed that in our language, we've lost the meaning or the truth of words. And I'll give you an example. You know somebody right now, I'm going to tell you a story, and I know you know this. You know somebody right now that if they tell you, sure, I'll do that, you actually have no idea if they will or not. And what it really means, there's 4 pieces of subtext. One of them is, yes, I'll do it, if I remember, if I still feel like it, if I don't get a better offer, and if you don't piss me off between now and then. And that's what we mean. And we sort of accept that as this subtext. And here's the sad thing about that. I just had a conversation scheduled the other day with someone that I know very casually. And they used the booking appointment and scheduled them things and then scheduled a time and didn't show up. And a little while later, an hour or two later, I got an email or text or something that said, oh, sorry, I was somewhere, this came up. And it struck me, I don't get upset about anything because I don't live in that universe, but it just struck me how casual we are with our conversations. And here's the sad part. If someone does that to you, the assumption is nobody's going to challenge that. And we're just supposed to understand, oh, okay, that got in the way. Now, I'm not talking about somebody dying. But short of that, what does our word actually mean? And that's something that's become really important to me in the context of creating your ultimate life. Now, this is a URL right here. It says Dream, Build, Write It. DreamBuildWriteIt.com, www.dreambuildwriteit.com. And that's about helping people tell their life story and stuff. And I had a podcast guy that I interviewed earlier today, and I was really excited. It was a beautiful thing. And one of the things he talked about was learning to have his word mean something. That when he spoke it, it was the absolute truth, and it didn't have to be shaded, colored, excused, backtracked. It was clear. It was true. We talked about transparency and integrity and those fun buzzwords that we use in this personal development world. But here's the truth. You and I, we create our life from moment to moment. And the way we do that is by the meaning we assign to things. If something happens and I decide it's a bad thing, then I get upset. I feel the chemicals of upsetness and stuff in my body. And I've created that experience because I decided something was bad or undesirable. On the other hand, someone else looking at the same thing could say, that's very desirable, I'm excited. And in their body, they've created the feeling of excitement, anticipation, and positive things. Same event. So events themselves are neutral, even ones that we all would universally agree are bad, right? You crash your car, that's bad. Well, maybe it is and maybe it isn't. My own experience, and I'm 69, I'll be 70 this year, is that everything, every single thing, can be a growth thing, it can be a benefit, it can be joyful, it can be powerful if I want to look at it that way. So here's the thing. I'm going to challenge you to do this. When you say, yes, I will, or I'll be there, or I'll do it, or anything like that, check yourself. Because what usually happens is, with unspoken, the subtext is, if I remember. How many times have you used or heard someone say to you, oh, man, I forgot? And that's supposed to be all that gets it. Oh, okay. Right? And so we've created the expectation that saying we'll do something or be somewhere isn't really true. It isn't the truth. It's a conditional truth. Oh, I forgot. If I still remember, if I still feel like it. Oh, I don't know. I just didn't feel like it, And we're supposed to accept that. If I don't get a better offer, and here's a fun one. Oh, I know, but, so-and-so called me and I got to go here. And we're just supposed to automatically accept those things. Or if you don't piss me off, oh, you said this made me mad. So those are the 4 subtexts that exist. And you know how I know? Because in that same situation, if someone really wants you to believe them, really wants that, so they want you to trust them, then we add a bunch of words. No, really, I swear, I promise. No, really, this time, we add all that language because the simple statement, I will do this, is no longer enough because it comes with all that subtext. Now, I'm not trying to judge anyone or say anybody's good or bad. What I am saying is it's interesting that we no longer, I'm not saying everywhere, but nearly everywhere, don't have absolute trust in our words. And you know where that's worst? It's worst when we speak it to ourselves. Now, the example I just gave was somebody saying to you or me saying to someone, yes, I'll do that, with all those caveats. But the worst one is when we teach ourselves that we can't be trusted. I'm going to go to the gym this week. I'm going to get up earlier. I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to make a little more money. I'm going to make some more sales calls. I'm going to treat that person nicer. And maybe at the moment we intend it, but the same subtext is there. If I still feel like it, if I remember, oh, I forgot. If I don't get a better offer, and if you don't piss me off between now and then. And when we do that to ourselves, here's the sad consequence. We teach ourselves that we can't be trusted, and most of that learning takes place in the quiet chambers of the heart. And then we learn, we know, even unconsciously, to doubt everything we say. Well, I'm going to try. And that's, of course, weak language that almost guarantees we don't make something happen. I want to encourage you to try and experiment. Talk less. Say less. And here's the reason. Count your words as absolute billion-dollar gold pieces so that every one you use is worth that much in creative power, because that's the truth. If I teach myself I can't be trusted, then I destroy my creative efforts. I live in a more disheartened way. I feel like I can't get stuff done, like I can't. It's too hard. It won't happen. It's not for me, that kind of thing. Well, somebody might be able to do that, but I can't. And that comes from repeatedly telling ourselves internally, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to change that, and then not. And so we learn over and over and over again that we can't really be trusted. So I'm going to give you another exercise. The first one is be really careful, stingy with your words, and make certain that every word you say, you mean. You absolutely own that billion-dollar thing that you just spoke. You own it, and you're committed to it. The second thing that I want to share with you that's worth another $1 billion is a little phrase. If there's anything about your life that you want to change, here's how to do it. Start small. Start tiny. And here's why. When I set big goals and I don't achieve them, I got halfway there. Again, we teach ourselves over and over again that we can't be trusted. It's way easier to set a small goal, shrink the goal. Why? Because when you shrink the goal, you have way better chance of doing it. In fact, shrink it small enough, even if it's ridiculously small, that you know for sure you're going to do it. Because then what you do is you teach yourself you can be trusted. I said it, I did it. Now that's the phrase. I said it, I did it. And when that becomes the truth of our lives, my life, your life, there's nothing you can't have. It's really easy to increase the size of goals. Said it, I did it. I said it, I did it. Start with tiny goals and a little bit bigger, bigger. And then what happens is I have become a person that absolutely creates with my language. Now, I'm doing that right now. My goal this year, my commitment, my bulletproof ironclad commitment is to reach 300 million people with the message of your divinity, capability, and possibility, which means you can create anything you want. And so the first part is the message. The second part is the method, because it's easy to say a thing, to say something, and then people say, yeah, but how do you do that? That's the next part. The message, the method, and part 3 is the mastery. Message, method, mastery. You're infinitely capable. You can be a master if you choose to walk that road. And there's nothing like the feeling of certainty when you are the master of your word. So I invite you to think about it. We have these hearings going on in the U.S. I mean, I live in Canada, and the election happened, and then there's all these hearings, and everybody accusing everybody of lying and stuff. Imagine for a moment if you and me, just the two of us, were absolute masters of our word. Every word was truth. And then what if each of us helped one more person? Very quickly, in less than a month, that'd be 2 million people. And in 2 months, that's the whole country, the whole North American continent. So it doesn't take very long for that to literally change foundationally the world. I said it, I did it. I am committed 100% to be the master of my word, so that every word that I speak creates and is exactly what I said. I find that when I live that way, I'm super happy. It's intensely liberating. Yay! And I'm committed to reaching 300 million people. I know what's going to happen, and I'm going to kick over every rock and do whatever I have to make it so. You're one of them. Thank you. If you would like to chat about learning to create your ultimate life, awesome results, go to that URL, Kellan Flukiger Media, and hit me up. There's a contact form. If you want to write a book or create products, DreamBuildWriteIt.com is coming at the end of February. Dream, Build, Write It. www.dreambuildwriteit.com. Sign up. Doesn't even cost anything, except you have to come. I said it. I did it. Become the master of your word.